Oh my gosh! Hola, que llegistes! Us poso ràpidament en situació. L'editorial Roca acaba de publicar una antologia de contes sobre el món de la Gràcia escrit per Christopher Paolini. En efecte, l'autor de Eragon ha tornat. El volum es titula La forquilla, la fatillera i el drac. Està disponible en català i castellà i sí, nois, ha sigut una muntanya russa emocional. La veritat és que vaig créixer com a persona i com a lectora amb els llibres de Paolini perquè Eragon va ser el primer llibre de 500 pàgines que em vaig llegir a la meva vida quan tenia 6 o 7 anys. Aquí em podeu veure llegint Eldest. Les històries d'aquest volum tenen lloc un any després de l'últim llibre del cicle del llegat. I, uau, nois, mentre llegia, m'he sentit intrigada, he sentit molta nostàlgia, he deixat anar exclamacions d'emoció al tornar a llegir l'Eragon, la Safira i altres personatges. Així que si voleu saber la meva opinió sobre la tornada de Paolini, a la descripció us deixo la meva ressenya que podeu llegir en castellà, en català i en anglès. Però això no és el més fort de tot. Gràcies a l'editorial Roca vaig tenir el plaer d'entrevistar en Paolini quan va venir a Barcelona durant el seu tour per Europa. I jo tenia moltes ganes de saber el que m'havia d'explicar. I això és el que em va dir. Hello Christopher, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. This is an absolute pleasure.
I must say I'm really excited because I grew up both as a person and as a reader with books. So as you can imagine, reading The Fog, the Witch and the Worm was like an emotional roller coaster for me. And I bet it's been a bigger roller coaster for you, huh?
Very similar. Writing the book was a very nostalgic experience and also very exciting at the same time.
I sí, en aquell moment em vaig adonar que no li havia donat a gravar l'àudio, així que ara treu una diferència considerable.
The show must go on.
Indeed.
So I must say that the first question that came to my mind when I heard of this book was, why did you choose such a short titles for big books, but a long title for short novel?
All of my titles are, with all of my books, I've titled them in a way that I hoped would summarize the entire book. You know, the one theme, the one character that summarizes the whole book. And with this one, because it is a collection of short stories, it's very hard to find one theme. There is a theme, but one specific phrase that encompasses it all. Also, my other novel I've been working on is a science fiction novel, and it has a very long title as well. So after Eragon, Eldest, Brissinger, Inheritance, I thought it'd be nice to try longer books. In English, this is also a tribute to the first Narnia book, which is The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. So all those factors combined.
Okay.
And I didn't want people to be confused and to think that this book was a large main entry into the inheritance cycle. Mm-hmm. You know, if I had simply called it, the name of a character or something. If I'd called it Saphira, everyone would have expected 800 pages.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, I give you that. You're right. But I must say that the term that best defines what I felt when I finished reading this book is
Yes.
Yeah, because what's next? I need to know more.
Yes.
So during yesterday's presentation, you told us that there's a lot more coming soon. What can you tell us about that?
Well, my goal with all of my books is to do two things at the same time. One is to satisfy the reader so that they feel, yes, that was a wonderful story, but also to leave them saying, more! Well, I can tell you that there are going to be more books of short stories. In English, this is called Volume 1. Mm-hmm. So I want to have, in an ideal world, I would publish a collection of these short stories every other year. So the next one would be 2021. Mm-hmm. I also have a number of full-size novels planned in plant in the world of Eragon. Do you want to know a secret?
Oh, of course.
And I know
I won't tell anyone.
and I realize that this is not a secret now that I'm saying this, but you're the first person I've said this to in an interview. Okay. So the first section of the book, the first story, The Fork, is the first chapter of a theoretical book entirely from Murteg's point of view.
That's what I thought, because I said, there's a lot going on, you're not telling us.
No.
Wow.
And of course, Book 5. Book 5 is not part of the inheritance cycle, but is a direct continuation of many of the themes and things that have been introduced and need to be resolved. All of those unanswered questions in inheritance are the foundation for Book 5.
Wow, okay. And as well, you told us about your science fiction book.
See?
Which I think, when I first heard that you were going to write a science fiction book, I was like, oh my gosh, it's something completely different.
But it's not that different, actually, because if you think about it, science fiction and fantasy get put together in the bookstores, and people who read fantasy often read science fiction and vice versa. So fantasy is the fiction of the past in many ways. Science fiction is the fiction of the future, but both do something that I love, which is both tend to have a sense of awe and wonder about the possibilities of nature, of characters, of life. And there's a sense of adventure to both of them that I enjoy. So my new book is what we call a space opera. So it's a big epic story, just like the inheritance cycle. There are spaceships and aliens and lasers and explosions and tentacles, lots of tentacles. And I think, and I'm not saying this for marketing reasons, I really believe this, that if you've enjoyed Eragon and the inheritance cycle, you will very much enjoy this novel. It's the same, I mean, it's not the same story, but it's still me.
Okay. And going back to The Fork, the Witch, and the Worm, your sister was your first reader, and this time she even wrote one of the chapters of the book. Okay, how was it?
I mean, it was a new experience for both of us. We've always collaborated behind the scenes, but this is the first time Angela has actually written in Allegasia, and this is also her first published piece of fiction in a novel form. So I had to learn how to relax and allow someone else to work in my world. And of course, for her, it was a challenge, I think, to write in the voice of a character she didn't create. So it was a learning experience for both of us, but Angela did a wonderful, wonderful job. And she's really a good writer, and I'm hoping people will see more of her fiction in the future.
That's what I wanted to ask you, because when she was asked about writing more in the world of Eragon, she said that conversations had occurred.
Yes, there's a good chance that with future short story collections, she will contribute something, but probably not so much from the character of Angela, but she'll write with a new character, and we'll see how that goes. And I think that'll be easier too, just because then she can create a character entirely from scratch, and I'm curious to see what she does with that. Also, I should say that the science fiction book, one of the reasons it's taken so long is that we have created an entire science fiction universe, which includes the real world and all of history. And it's a setting that both of us want to play in. And so Angela's been working on some stories set in the science fiction universe also. So hopefully we'll see a lot more of stories from both of us.
Okay, that's great. And I wanted to ask you what kind of character you'd be if you lived in Allegasia, but yesterday you already said you'd like to have fun with the dwarves. And you got a very curious theory about fancy and beards?
Yes. Well, I mean, the dwarves have more fun than the elves, I think. I mean, elves are beautiful to look at, but I think we can all agree that they're a little stuck up.
Yeah.
But no, with fantasy, I think that if you write fantasy long enough, you spontaneously grow a beard. I mean, Patrick Rothfuss, George R. Martin, myself, Brandon Sanderson has yet to grow a beard, but he's told me that at one point he grew a very large handlebar mustache.
Okay.
So we'll see if that happens for him. But yes, and I presented this theory to other authors at conventions, and they all agreed with me, including the women.
Okay. Wow. So another thing you were asked yesterday was about the possibility of Eragon having a new adaptation to the big screen, or rather the first one, really. And you made an interesting observation about Ari being a Disney princess. How is that?
Well, Disney is buying 20th Century Fox, and they're buying Fox because of the X-Men movies. Marvel wants the X-Men back, but there's also a lot of other Fox properties. Those include Eragon, of course, but also the Alien movies and many, many others. And the Star Wars movies, the first Star Wars movies. So it's a big deal. So yeah, once Disney buys Fox, technically Arya will be a Disney princess.
Wow.
It may not be official yet, but technically yes. So we're hoping that Disney will want to do something with Eragon, whether that's a TV show or another film or something, because I'm biased, but I've always felt that the story of this series is very cinematic. There's a lot of amazing, cool visuals in it. In some ways, it's a very simple story also. We all can understand it. It's easy to understand it, but it's also complicated in other ways. So there's a potential there, and I'm hoping that someday, maybe soon, that they'll want to make a remake. Lemony Snicket got a remake. His Dark Materials is getting a remake.
Yeah.
Amazon has Lord of the Rings, so, it's time.
And these days, you're touring around Europe. I'm sure you must be exhausted. You're touring around.
Coffee.
There you go, that's the truth. What's been the most amazing thing so far?
Just seeing that the fans are still so enthusiastic about the books after so many years. My last book came out in 2011. And here I am.
Live ago.
It really does. It's 7 years ago, and I was touring here in 2012, so 6 years ago, and yet, as you saw yesterday at my event here in Barcelona, it was a full room. The event was full, and that amazes me. As I've been in the United States and here, I've had people coming up to me and telling me they have named their children after the characters.
Wow.
Arya, Saphira, Roran. They've gotten tattoos based off of the series.
I saw a very interesting tattoo
I know the
on
one.
your Instagram. Oh my gosh.
Yes, this woman got a tattoo of my face that's about this big on her leg.
Wow.
That's dedication.
Yeah, that's the word.
That's dedication. To be fair, she is a tattoo artist, I believe, so it may be a bit professional for her, but still, it's my face.
So, Christopher, now I'm going to try to say, may good fortune rule over you. Let's see if I manage to do it.
In the ancient language.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Ad resterni onotelduin.
Perfect. Perfect. You have a slightly different dialect than I do, but your pronunciation is spot on.
Thank you very much.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you.
I doncs, sentiu que necessiteu desesperadament la forquilla, la fatellera i el drac? Aquí el teniu, tot vostre. Sí, no m'ho invento, us el regalo. Tan sols m'heu de seguir a Twitter i fer retweet a l'enllaç que us deixaré a la descripció si voleu guanyar aquest exemplar. Ah, que no us ho he dit. I signat per l'autor. A Trasterni o Nocelduin, que llegistes. Adéu!